Okay, before we get started with our Doctor Who adventure today, I thought you might like to see a couple of clips that I took of the Dickens on the Strand in Galveston, Texas this weekend. They have this is the 50th anniversary of it this year, but every year they do this. It has people in costume. If you've ever been to a Renaissance fair or anything like that, it's very similar to that, except that they do this in Victorian garb. And there is a Queen's Parade. There is a lot of entertainment from local musicians and school groups and things like this. And there are vendors, and it's all done on the Strand in Galveston, which is very historical. Much of it dates back to before 1900, so there is a good atmosphere of it. And this year, of course, with all of the fog over Galveston, it looked somewhat like a Dickens type of time frame. Anyway, I thought you'd like that. We'll talk about Doctor Who in just a second. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and Doctor Who generally works on three things that the Doctor knows. He knows what can be, he knows what has to be, and he knows what can't be. And based on these three things are essentially all of the stories that we've seen throughout the 60 years of Doctor Who. So in Wild Blue Yonder, the TARDIS out of control arrives in a spaceship that is on the edge of existence. Now, there's some mention of the flux that some of the what we know as space has been eaten up by the flux, and so we are at the edge of it. And the ship is, it looks like it's in a gas cloud because there's nothing around it. There's no stars. There's not even the light from some other stars. They're so far away from everything there is. There's nobody on the ship, and they go about exploring. In this case, without the TARDIS and without a sonic screwdriver as well, the Doctor is left just to his own wits. And the fact of the matter is, he can't even translate the language that he hears spoken over the ship. This is because while he knows billions of languages, he doesn't know this one, and is not certain what the race is or where the ship came from. A lot of things that he seems to have had knowledge of in previous adventures, he was completely a blank on here. He was able to divine a number system and therefore work out through various algorithmic type of calculations how to start translating some of their computer data and things such as that. But for the most part, there was nothing that they did that would affect the outcome of this situation, and none of it that needed to. The fact of the matter is, if the Doctor and Donna were not there, it would have done exactly what it was supposed to do, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do even with them there. And what they could have done is actually messed it completely up, which is something that you don't often see in a Doctor Who adventure. And so what we have here is a vehicle by which we can get the innermost thoughts of the Doctor and Donna through some creative enemy here. We have found a way for the Doctor to actually say what his feelings are about the flux briefly, of his not knowing really anymore where he came from, and also the situation with Donna. What her memory was as to after she was allowed to remember everything that she had gathered as the Dr. Donna, which would also include the Doctor's thoughts through his current regeneration. And what we find out there is where Donna is, what her priorities are, and the rest of it is just kind of chemistry between the two. There's some good humor there. There is a point to where at the very beginning they encounter Isaac Newton and mention gravity to him, and then he misunderstands and calls it mavity. And further into the episode, apparently Donna is affected by the change in history and starts referring to it as Mavity. The doctor reacts for a moment and then decides just to play along with her after that. It's a situation to where they can change history, and we don't know really if that's going to have any long-term effect, but for now, it was a nice joke. And there are other humorous points in there. We see a lot of the chemistry between the Doctor and Donna, which is nice when they're running away, when they're in a more serious tone, and when they're kidding each other around. It's kind of a nice thing. We also figure out a new way that the sonic screwdriver works. Along with a regular screwdriver, you can reprogram the TARDIS through the keyhole, and also a reuse of an emergency system the TARDIS has to disappear during times of great peril, which was used maybe 3 times before in the previous series, but not in a while. So all of this essentially builds up to the point to where the Doctor and Donna get away in the TARDIS, which is now working properly. And there's a nice scene at the end where they finally encounter Wilfred. It's only a brief scene, and it sets up for the next special, which is Giggle. But we have, 2 or 3 minutes of Bernard Cribbins on screen, who is they are as happy to see as we are, and that's a nice thing too. We don't know if there's more of him if he goes into the TARDIS and is part of the team with the toy maker. We do know that he died before they were able to film all of the parts that he was in, and but we don't know just how much they did get. So they're not telling us that. So I suspect that we'll see him in the special next week. So that's what we have so far. We do know that next week the Doctor will regenerate. The cosmic toy maker is going to be a very challenging opponent here, and that is one way or the other going to lead the Doctor to regenerate into Ncuti Gatwa, who will then be the Doctor in the Christmas special on Christmas Day. So that's what we have so far, and I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed it. I think that there was enough scary parts. There was enough puzzle working. There was enough frightening moments. I think that it was very effective, although plot-wise there really wasn't a whole lot to it. But I'm not complaining. I think it was entertaining, and I recommend it if you haven't seen it already. So, if you like what we do here, please put a like and subscribe if you have not done so already. And we'll be back. And we'll be back tomorrow with a Deep Space Nine review, a original series of Star Trek review on Wednesday, and Babylon 5 on Friday. And then, of course, back next Monday with yet another review of the third and final David Tennant special. And so, until then, thank you for joining us. Don't go far.